Bum, bum, bum. Hey,
Hey, there he is.
wow.
How you
You're
doing?
gorgeous. You are gorgeous, my friend.
Back at you. It's a mirror.
Oh, I'm with you.
It's interesting. You reveal so much of yourself through the courses. And I'm like, we got a good rapport going. TT is like me, in a lot of ways. It's interesting how that happens. A world apart.
I keep when I made up my mind to do this project, and it started out like as a 90-day project. I, I decided I would just be there. And my biggest part of the goal was to find family. And man, is it happening or what? You know?
It is happening. And the beautiful thing is that you're changing the world one person at a time, and it's going out. It's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. Uh, I'm truly blessed by having found you, um, and uh, it's overwhelming for me. I mean, personally, my when I first started with MM, my business just all of a sudden in a slower time. And I was just thinking about it. I've still got I don't want to talk about business, but I've got
But we
a
can
lot.
we can do what I don't know if you watched any of the other videos that we made from these calls, but we can talk about anything you want because for me it's the dance, it's the ripple. So wherever your heart goes, let's dance.
Yeah. Well, great. As I say, I appreciate that, giving me the permission. The thing is that, for me, I love my business. A lot of people say, well, shouldn't you be retired? It's like, why? What am I going to do?
What am I gonna do? Yep.
And so I love what I do. I mean, I've been doing this for, 35 plus years. And so I have a lot of repeat and generational that comes back to me. I had it happen here a couple years ago where I had a very nice middle-aged lady say to me, I remember you sold my dad something. And I'm like, oh,
Wow.
really? Wow, that's what I said. Wow. And so it's all good. It's all fun. And it's all part of life. I approach it from serving my fellow man, supplying a vehicle for the family to get together as a unit to go out and recreate, and it's a driving force. It's all very good, and I'm able to share the beautiful area that I live in. And I don't mean to sound like the Chamber of Commerce, but at times
No, this is beautiful.
yes,
I I want more people, Tony, to uh honest to God, and it sounds like what everyone says, but there's a difference. I want everyone who wants to make great money while doing what they love. And the key two things there, the spoken one is while doing what you love. And the second one is everyone I talk to that actually quote unquote pulls it off. They come from a place of service, of love, of devotion. And I so get with you that if you and I could make up a course, I'd call it business as a devotional act. Because when you really get your purpose is to serve your customers with something that you love, you can't help but be successful. You can't help but uh, be the blessing. And as long as you're open to being blessed back, quote unquote, it's a beautiful dance.
definitely, definitely. I sometimes will tell people, the right people, that whether you realize it or not, this is going to be a religious experience for you. A
Nice.
lot of people get it, and they get it maybe after the fact, but it's all good. And so I truly am amazed at you, my friend, that you give so much of yourself. Yes, you're at home, like myself, with the pandemic. My whole life changed, but you seem to be so available, and giving of yourself. And I know that, I'm just one person that writes you an email and I get a response. I'm blown away that you must have hundreds of emails come in a day And if you're responding to everybody, man, oh man, that's a lot of work.
I'm furious with email. Did you get the one I sent out last week or 10 days ago, roughly? It said something like, yeah, you did. You replied to it. I haven't got back to you yet. Tony, hey, can you tell me your number one problem? Right? Yeah, with this stuff. And I got 300 emails, right? Instantly. Right? That's where I stopped counting. And I go, rightio, 300 emails, 5 minutes each, to read, to reply. And so I got out Google, because Google does my math, and I typed in 300 times 5 divided by 60, and I got 25 hours. I've got 25 hours of work I created and I sent out this email as we were sitting down for lunch. I went, oh my God. And I sat down and I shot it out, and I came back and there are already 100 replies. And it's like, oh my God. Now, the good news is I've got a massive email list. so it was a small percentage that wrote back. The bad news is, and I'm sending out an email today or tomorrow, and you'll get it. And it's something like, hey, I'm really working on these, but I'm going to create a series of little podcast videos to address everything to the best of my ability. I'll try to, I promise you I'll get to you sooner or later, but answering 300 emails takes time. But I can make these little podcasts, and this is my secret with work. I'm always going, how can I take what would bless one person and have it bless 1,000? So it's like, right. So like this morning, I was working on a page for Joseph Goddard, because I'm noticing probably 70% of the emails that I've skimmed through, they all need to be doing Joseph Goddard. They all need to be nailing their morning as they get out of bed. If they do that, 70% of those emails wouldn't even bother coming to me. And so it's like, so I'm designing on this new website, instantmanifesting.com, a page with 2 or 3 little videos and a brief explanation, because I want to be able to say, hey, Tony, go here, do this. And if you want to join us in a program, feel free. But first, go here, do this. And so that email will go out to 10,000 people, 12,000 people today, including the 300 that replied. And that's where the fun begins, because now, and what gets my rocks off with this stuff is the conversion experience. It is that 20. Because I know, I'm imagining getting the emails already. I've been doing it for 30 days now, and oh my God, yeah, that's what I want. I want you to just start doing it. And so when I get those emails, that's what I wake up to in the morning, and I hit them real quick, and that gives me the juice to do what I do. So, and I know you get that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know, again, it's for me, I'm just blown away at your responses. People don't understand that. But the other side of the coin, too, is interesting to think about. You just hit on an interesting point. Is there's so many people out there that are searching for something, searching for meaning in their lives. And you're supplying it. It was an avenue for me. I think you picked up on one email. You said, you've got a very strong faith. Well, I do have a very strong faith just because of who I am and how I'm built. I couldn't do what I do unless I had a strong faith. I don't believe that any salesperson in life can make a nice living unless they have that faith. You know what I'm saying?
God, there's so many projects I want to do. And one of them is sales as a spiritual experience, because I don't care what you're selling. We've got Coral, who you did DD with. She's in real estate. And I get she devotes herself to her clients, on both ends, the buyer, the seller. And selling requires this absolute faith that here's my selling method. If I know it will bless you, I'll invite you to it. If I don't believe it'll bless you, I'll tell you where to go. And it just, and having that faith of knowing, I can make a difference here one way or the other. I can make a sale here. And the big sale being them buying themselves, eliminating that guilt of change. Because almost everyone has this guilt of but what if I change? What if they don't like me? What if it'll hurt them? What if it's like you changing is going to bless everyone because it's not change. It's evolution. It's a stretch. It's you discovering who you are. And my dad did it selling trees. My dad had a little 3-acre tree farm, Spring Glory Nursery. He did it on the side while he worked in the steel mill. And when I was a little boy, I remember him selling people trees. When I was a teenager, I remember we would stop back at these people's houses. We'd drive down the road and he'd say, look at that one. We'd stop and I'd go, Denny, oh my God, I love these trees I got off you. I'd say, well, it needs a little trim. You want me to show you how to do it? The next thing you know, he's got his trimmers out and he's doing a little trim, showing him what to do and what not to do. And it was like, wow, he didn't just sell them the tree. He sold them beauty. He sold them faith. And when he stops by, he doesn't even charge them anything. Like more than once we ate lunch with strangers to me, but clients of his that would like, well, Denny, let me give you lunch. Come on in. We just made lunch. We'll toss on a few more burgers for you and the boy. And it was the most marvelous way to grow up because he was devoted and bringing forth beauty. And obviously I got infected.
That's what I was going to say. You are doing the same thing. Basically, I mean, I truly, and I've told you this before in emails, I am blown away about the value that you bring to the table. The extras, that I remember going through the meetings with the DDD people, and I should have brought it up. Nobody brought it up. Was the extras, for instance, the NLP recordings that you made.
Yep.
I take an NLP and very powerful, very good. Those were there, and I was like, wow, this just in itself is value, is worth the price of admission. So again, I know it's all stuff that you have, that you've done in the past, but if someone cannot see value in what you're doing, they're not really looking for what you're offering. And I hate to sound like a salesperson selling you.
Oh,
but you know what I'm saying.
You get the heart there.
I don't know if you think about it.
Thank you.
Because you give so much. And then I caught, I've been catching a couple of your recordings on with you and Victoria making lunch. I get such a kick out of that.
Nice.
It's
well, you know why we do that. I want. You know why we do that. I want people to get along with their spouses and eat good food. I've got my super secret agenda, which is more playtime, more playmates. And then there's the tertiary part of the agenda where it's like, why not eat some good food? Why not have some good fellowship with the person you're married to? Wouldn't that be novel?
Yes. Yes. And both get creative together.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because some people think I do all the cooking or she does all the cooking. We take turns, which is lovely. And no matter how it works out, there's a dance. And that's my other thing. I want more dance in the world. There's so much pursuit. There's that whole thing of, Tony, you got to finish the race. What if the race was a dance? What if the whole idea was to get out and boogie a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's fun. It just, again, I stop and think about the last 2 or so years. It was interesting. My eldest daughter called me up. She was in Seattle, which is over the mountains, and she was working for a financial preservation company. And she said, Dad, they're closing down the office. I can either work from home here in Seattle. She had a little studio. And I said, well, that doesn't sound like fun. You can work from home, our home. And so, she came back, the whole thing changed. It was nice to have her here. People said, how do you deal with your kids at home? Well, we got a big house and it's nice to see him. I see him at the dinner table about, we converse about our days. It's great. Communication. It's very, very nice. I enjoy it.
So let me ask, how big is family to you?
How big is family?
Yeah.
Well, in my immediate family, my wife and 2 daughters, I've got 4 sisters and 3 brothers.
How
I've
important
got
is it?
41 first cousins on my mother's side of the family. And on my father's side, I only got 4. But big Irish Catholic family. I'm part Scottish, so I've got Highland Scot in me. We got kicked out of Scotland. We were starved out of Ireland, but we're still here. We're all fighting. We're battlers, basically. My father always had a list of people on the list, and I go, Dad, you have to let these people go before you move on. But he would always pull that list out. Here they are.
Wow.
He was quite a character. I remember I was talking to him about 3 days before he passed. He said, "Yes, your mother has taken all the joy out of my life." I said, "Dad, what's wrong?" He said, "She won't let me have any more Irish whiskey." And so he went to the doctor the next day, and one of my brothers is there, and he told the doctor very proudly, "I quit drinking." For one day. But he was a character. He lived one life in this reality and one life in the spiritual world. And a lot of times I think he's definitely spending more time on the spiritual side now. So it's all good. It's all fun. How about your family?
Wow. But before we talk about mine, I just want to I get how important family is to you. You just light up. I got a small family. My mom's got a brother. My dad has 2 sisters and a brother that's deceased. Just a handful of us cousins on either side of the coin. But it's interesting because even though my genetic family is small, it's almost like my entire life, I haven't been searching for family, but I've been finding family. But when I taught karate as a teenager, family started coming together. And it's interesting, like probably my 4th student was a fellow named Marvin. And he brought his son and his daughter. And when Victoria and I went back to the States like 10 years ago, Marvin heard we were coming and he said, "You have to stay with us." Another friend of mine who was a friend and student first, she let us use her house as well. And it's like, no matter what I've done, it's like I've had this feeling of finding family. And to me, that's the number one thing, because it's like, I love having clients. Yeah, but I really love having family. And when a client gets that they're family to me, when it's like, I really, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. I want to share the dance with you. Sure. And it's just I think the thing that I quote unquote miss the most living in Australia is Thanksgiving dinner. Because, grandma and my 2 aunts would put the stuff together, and the next thing you know, everyone's there. People are talking, people aren't talking. People are eating, people are not eating. At some point, everybody goes home. There's some football on. But it was the whole thing of like, whether you're talking or not, whether you're getting along or not, there's this coming together. There's this sharing of the meal, the fellowship, the breaking of the bread. And that's it.
Yes. That's beautiful.
So you mentioned family. So my brother, on my mom's side, all the generation of my grandfather were all black hair, right? Just olivey skinned people. And they were supposed to be Germans, right? And so one of them, somewhere in the mix as well, is a Native American woman, and that'll make sense in a moment. But for whatever reason, uh, my uncle, my mom's brother, we met up with him and his wife's family. We used to go to their little family get together at Idlewild Park every year, and he had a bad leg, so he couldn't go on any of the rides. So I'd always just sit and yak with him. I just love the guy. I always did. So I'm hanging with my Uncle Mike one day, and he's telling me that the robins were really Rabinos. I'm like, they're Rabinos? So that's not German. He goes, there's a reason why we don't look German. We're Italian. But for whatever reason, the family shied away from that. And it's like the Native American woman that married like someone along the. She was actually married into my mom's mother's side. They just have her in the family Bible as the Native American woman, right? And it's interesting because on that side of the family, I don't have much information on the heritage, but where we come from beyond that. But it's interesting because the family was there. Like when I saw my grandpa and his brothers, they all were like, and it's just that feeling of, I don't know what it is, bonding, solidarity, strength, love, fellowship. There's just, I think that's the other thing that I hope to bring to the world with what we do is, hey, get out there and find family. Stay at home and make love to your family. Cook a meal together. Just discover where you're going to rub against each other, quote unquote, the wrong way. So you can find how to rub against each other in a lovely way. Because people avoid rubbing two sticks together because of friction. It's like if we rub together, we get to like smooth each other out a little bit, maybe. Sure. Learn a little bit about ourselves. And that to me is family, Yeah. DDD family. How many times do I talk about that? People join to get a change, but it's like they stick around or they come back because they find family.
Yeah, definitely. I saw that within the group. It's just amazing just to the camaraderie and the challenges that some people may have had, and people trying to being there to help them to get over that challenge.
Yes.
I'm not perfect, but I don't feel like I have a lot of challenges in life. It's just, if something comes up in life, I go, okay, you created this. Now deal with it and move on.
Yeah.
I'm just that. Sometimes my wife says I'm too blunt, but I just don't get wound up about it. So, are you sitting outside by the fire?
No, I'm actually inside. I've got this roto light that gives off a fire kind of glow.
Oh, it's cool.
It's really nice. If you remind me, I'll send you a link. If you're doing anything on Zoom, it just makes the total difference.
Wow. It just looks like you're outside enjoying a beautiful fire.
I feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I in the garden, pal.
That's 3/4 of it, filling it.
We watched this Dave Chappelle. I've actually fallen in love with this guy. And Dave Chappelle, there was a show called the Mark Twain Awards because they gave him the Mark Twain Awards, which I had no idea existed. But it's the highest award in comedy. And this guy, and Chappelle is controversial. Like somebody just tried to attack him on stage a couple of days ago. Oh. He's really blunt, but in this Mark Twain Awards, it really reveals so much of him and of his love. And his mom gave him a quote, and it was something like, he has to let the lion that he is out so the lamb in him can come out. Oh. And I'm totally screwing up the quote, and I got to apologize to you and anyone else but if you look it up, Dave Chappelle's lion and lamb quote, it's gorgeous because when he said that, I almost cried because I get, that's me. I am blunt. I am rude. I am crude, but at the same time, it's all in love. Because it's like, like when people say vision boards work because you imagine they work. No, they don't. I've never seen a vision board order a pizza. right? Vision board doesn't wake up and go, gee, I'm hungry, I want a pizza, and orders one. If you're imagining you need a vision board to order a pizza, you're just denying the truth about you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Just surrender to the yum.
Yep.
And I'm having I'm having not one but two pizzas tomorrow. Yeah, and it's like, and that happened when I was at Aldi's. Yeah, because Victoria's got Mother's Day going on, and I'm just going to stay here with the pups. And it's like, righty-o, because they're going to go do their thing. I'm going to hang out here and reach out to my mom. And it's like, all right. And so I'm at Aldi's, and it's like, I saw these pizzas, and Victoria's not into pizza. It's like, oh my God, which one do I get? And I'm like, one. Why would I get one?
One.
So I got a spinach one. I got a pepperoni one. I'll add garlic and anchovy. And then this crazy thought comes in my head, Tony. Absolutely crazy. I'm going to have pizza with my mom.
Fun.
My mom's in Pennsylvania. So if I can call the local pizza shop and say, hey, Jason, do you remember me? Right. Would you deliver a pizza to my mother? Right. I'll pay you, do the credit card thing, whatever. But can you deliver it to her at 7 p.m.? That way I can call her up and say, hey, answer the door. Let's eat.
I like it.
Weird, impossible, crazy. But it's surrendering to a desire, and then surrendering to a desire, and surrendering to a desire. No vibrational alignment, no vortexing, no affirmations, no bullshit. Just, you know what? I just want to share a meal with mom.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw your mom in person?
2020, 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Are you guys locked down now in Australia, so you can't leave?
They've finally lifted it all up. When I say that, I got to say I honestly don't know, because they keep changing the rules like on a pretty continuous basis. So I know we're allowing people to come in. For the longest time, it was crazy here, man. They wouldn't even let Australians come back. If you go overseas, it's like you're stuck, and it's like, whoa, dude! Like someone's on a visitor visa in a foreign country, and you're telling them they can't come home. It's like that's crazy, man.
Absolutely amazing. But I have decided that I'm not going to buy into this anymore.
Yes.
I am done with it. They have tried to take too many of our rights, and here we are in opposite corners of the world, and you're saying the same thing that I'm saying, and it's not right. We are humans. God created us to be free, and we must live our lives free, whatever that takes.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. You know about my 3-hour win with the pool. Yeah. When so we were walking the dogs, and they started doing construction where we would park. So we're parking at different spots throughout the week to walk the pups, right? And so my buddy Cuba and I are talking, and we're like, where are we going to meet? And I said, Victoria's not coming that day. Let's meet at the leisure center so we can walk this part of the trail, because that's easier for me with both dogs. And so what I imagined parking at the pool to walk the dogs. And I imagined that because if I didn't imagine it, I wouldn't go there. I'd go someplace else. So I took a second while talking to him, and I imagined parking at the pool to walk the dogs. And I immediately went, wait a second. Yeah, I'm imagining I'm parking at the pool to go into the pool, because I haven't been able to go for a year. It's like if you're not vaccinated, you can't go. Wow. You can't get a haircut, can't get your nails done. For a while, we couldn't even shop except for groceries. So it's like radio, and I complained about it. It's like I feel like a second-class citizen, right? This is wrong. And then I went, hold on. I'm not settling for this. I'm imagining going to the pool. And I was just done with it, like that fast. We could call him the guy who's effectively the governor of Victoria. The guy who runs the state of Victoria, 3 hours later said, hey, listen, I was going to let you all out in November so you'd vote for me. But for some reason, me and one of the other premiers, we were just talking, I'm going to let you out starting Friday. So starting Friday, he didn't say it this way, but this is what I heard, and this is what happened. 20, you can go to the pool, you can get your nails done, you can get a haircut, and it's like, and you can go to a restaurant. So it's like 3 hours later, he changed his mind. 2 days later, the handcuffs come off. And so that Saturday, I went to the pool. No, that's Sunday. I went to the pool. That Monday, we went out to eat. And it was like, because I'm done with it. You know what I mean? It's like, I just got done with it.
Yeah.
You know, there's.
One of the big things that happened for me, 20, is that my hearing is not the best. Of course, being in sales, I sell real estate, vacation homes. And when they put the mask on, I couldn't see the lips.
Right. Totally. I'm with you.
Couldn't read them. And so I broke down, went to Costco, got the hearing aids. And the lady, when she tested me, she said, when I was talking with you, I didn't think your hearing was that bad. But when you did the test, it's profound. It's on that.
It's
zero.
Profound.
Yeah. It's part hereditary, and doing what I did in early man as an early youngster, working in bars with music and everything else, and coming out, your ears are ringing, and real good at reading lips. But when the mask came on, it's like, God, I can't hear what they're saying. You can't read what they're saying. Read their lips.
Right.
So it all worked out great. It's amazing. I can hear birds. I can hear. We have a frog outside our living room window at night that's chirping, and it's amazing. It's opened up a whole nother world. But when bedtime comes, I tell my wife, "I'm going to bed.
I'm not going to hear you anymore."
And she starts talking. I can't hear you. So it's all good. All good. Yeah. So I've been watching your eyes, and very expressive. And that's one of the things that in the class that kind of fascinated me was the eye patterns.
Right.
Yeah. Every morning, my phone will remind me about 7:15 that time to do the timer.
Right.
It comes up, I've got it set for 1 minute and 3 seconds. And so I'll think about what I want to put into the oven, so to speak, the bun in the oven, and then do the eye patterns and stay focused on that. That's one question I had, is that, is that the right way to do it? And is 1 minute long enough? Should it be, if you start training yourself that way, should you do it for longer? And the idea behind it is it accessing a different part of the brain that you don't normally use.
Cool. Let me give a little background. So about every 18 seconds, people's eyes will go through a pattern. So if you watch an interview on TV where somebody's interviewing somebody, the camera will tend to go about 15 seconds and about 15 seconds. Almost never do you see it go 20 to 25. And the reason why is people within about every 18 seconds, they do the same thing. 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 So their eyes bounce around in a very predictable pattern for most people, most of the time, every 15 to 18 seconds. And why we do that is this process that we'll call thinking, right? So you'll make a picture, hear a sound, notice how you feel about it. Some people notice how they feel, make a picture, hear a sound, hear another sound. Right? So people have their different ways that the eyes bounce around, and it reveals their inner strategy of how they combine picture, sounds, and feelings. And when someone's on autopilot, which is most of the time, they're basically just going, oh, let me make a picture. Oh, let me create a sound. Oh, let me hear something. They're just doing the same thing. And what we discovered was if you just leave your head normal and you take your eyes up to the left for 1 minute without moving your head, relax, go back to neutral, take them up to the right for 1 minute, just breathe and relax and come back to neutral. Use a timer, do not count, because counting has you do this, 1, 2, 3. So you're missing the whole point if you do that. But when you do that, what happens is that gives you 4 breaks in each direction from your internal autopilot.
Interesting.
And the cool thing with that is it doesn't sound like much, but it's so profound. In other words, when you get off of autopilot, you become intimate. When you become intimate with you, you can be intimate with someone else. And this is why almost all the time, when you get someone that actually connects with people, they'll say something about their eyes. You've got beautiful eyes. Oh my God. Because you're touching them. You're bathing them with your words. You're touching them with your eyes. Not to get something done, but to just be with them. Talking about sales. What happens when you're in sales and you can just be with someone? I had a credit card client back in the States who sent me probably 20 pieces of business over the years. And I wasn't in that business long. But I told them no. I sat down with them. We went through everything. And I said, look, who you're with is a better deal than what I can give you. Stay there. But keep these 3 things in mind. This is what you want to watch over the years. But I actually sat and connected with them. I was actually honest with them. I actually touched them with my eyes. I didn't just on autopilot go through the sales process. And it's like all the time, it's like, hey, Beth, what's her place? She told me to talk to you. Hey, Beth, what's her place? Told me to talk to you. I built a whole business off of one encounter.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And you know it's true because you do it.
Yeah.
You touch as soon as our call started. Wow. Hey, you were here.
Yes. It's important to be here. It's I am very grateful to be chosen. Very humble to be able to have this time, because again, I know that your time is precious, and to take time out to chat the way that you are. I mean, I'm blessed, and I truly appreciate it. And I'm telling everybody about you. The thing is that it's interesting. I think I sent you an email. I've got somebody that I was telling about doing a revisioning on a rather large deal. In fact, it just got the earnest money deposited today. And I put it all together, and I got a text about 9:00 at night. I don't like getting texts that late at night. It's like, man, let's shut off for a bit here.
God, you sound like me.
Yeah. But I see it, and it says, you got beat out by price. I'm like, huh? Okay. So went to bed, been doing revisioning every night before I go to bed, taking the good and making it great, and taking the
Nice.
not so good and making it good. And so I took that, and I just knew in the morning when I woke up, it's going to be fine. Well, guess what? We got the deal at the price that we offered. We just, our terms were much better after I questioned the other broker and told him, you're a fool not to take this. And so it all worked out well for my client, and it's all good. But it's just, that's the tools that you have given. But they need to be used. If a tool isn't used, it becomes rusty.
Brilliant.
So you can have it in the box, but you got to bring it out and use it. And
Yes.
I think sometimes people are expecting just a miraculous change. Well, there is a miraculous change that happens, at least it did within me. But you have to remember that you're given the tools, and to make it even better, make it even greater, make it grand, use those tools. And been having a lot of fun with that. And again, there's so much there. I'm blown away about the offering that you presented, and I'm glad I took you up on it, because it's changed my life. It's made me more open with people. And happy. I've had people that I've dealt with in service, like at stores and stuff like that, will say, God, it's just so nice to see you. You're so positive and happy all the time. It's like, shouldn't life be like that? But I guess there's a lot of grumpy people out there. And I know I've heard other people say this too, is that when I go public places, I just put a big smile on my face and walk down the sidewalk or down the aisle, and people with their heads down, looking at the ground, will look up briefly and put a big smile on their face and go back down again. So you break their state for a little bit. So hopefully you have enlightened them for the day.
I consider myself weaponized. And when things got really rough here with the loogie, it's funny to me, this whole dream driven day thing, I started it with one intention. The intention was run it 2 or 3 times a year, then run a bunch of other courses. I've never got around to the other courses because the loogie came. And when the loogie came, I just got, everyone needs this. They need to be driven by this. And so when I go shopping, at the worst case scenario, you'd go shopping and people be wearing winter gloves in the summertime or surgical gloves, masks, wiping everything down and not looking at each other. Like it was like living in like Soviet Russia in the 50s, it felt like. And I'd go out and it's like, I've got this policy. I don't know if you've seen Anya's posts in the Law of Attraction by Neville Goddard group, but when she came over here, I took her to the dog park and she was also with me shopping once or twice. And I've got this policy. If you come within range, your ass is mine. I do not let you leave my presence in the same state you were in. Right. And so I'm going to the store and everyone's like looking around, like all terrified, like, how's it going? And people are like looking, yeah, yo, how you going? I'm saying you smile underneath that. You can't hide. And he goes, what? Right. And like people start laughing, other people over listening in. So yeah, you too, right? You're not going to let you down, are you? And the next thing you know, there's people laughing and giggling and they're perking up. And it's like, yeah, you're more alive. And it wasn't even just because of being positive. It was being present, choosing, you know what? I'm going to catch you on fire, pal. Yeah, it's like, I'm just going to just drop a kind word. Imagine you standing taller, having that blood move around a little bit.
Sure. And it makes you feel so much better too.
Oh yeah.
You shared that joy and it comes back to you and reflect back to you.
Absolutely. When things first hit the fan here, I didn't know. I don't look at I did. I say I don't look at the news. I do now, but I was in one of those phases where I wasn't checking in with anything. And I stopped at the store and people are going nuts. And there's me and there's this big black guy. And there aren't many big black guys near where I live. And I look at him and he looks at me. We just both give each other a nod. And it's like, righty-o. And so we wheeled our buggies toward each other while people are going nuts. And turns out he's United States Marine Corps, retired.
Nice.
Yeah. Then there's me with my experience. Radio. And we both know, you know what? It's no, this is unacceptable. And I've seen him probably half a dozen times since. And he just walks around. He's cool as a cucumber. He smiles. He gives to people. And it's like, that's it, man. That's it. Be that soldier of light. Be that person that knows, you know what? You don't have to crack the shits. You can be the bomb. Yeah, sure. You can just show up and be you.
He knows you without knowing you.
Yes.
Your presence and his presence. No, I know exactly what you're saying there. He knows you without knowing you.
Nicely put.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So I don't know what we're supposed to be talking about.
I don't either. All I know, we got, believe it or not, about 15 minutes left.
It's almost up, huh?
Yeah, it's almost up. The cool thing that I love about calls like this is whatever we talk about, whatever we do, I know walking away that we're both quote unquote different. I'm not a fan of the word better, but it's like we're both blessed. And that to me is like the thing, like if it's okay with you, I'd love to put this on the internet.
Sure.
For me, it's about you and I dance. We both walk away blessed, remembering and exploring more of who we are and how this works. Anybody else that hears this is blessed by it. And it's like, that's it. It's like I had one of my clients yeah, I stopped talking to people one-on-one at one point during all this crap. And one of my clients that was with me for like 6 years, we did weekly phone calls. And he said, you know why I pay you? And I says, I have no idea why you pay me. And he says, first, I get results. He like doubled the size of his business a couple of times. He goes, second, I don't care what we talk about. Because when I walk away, my whole week is lit up because I've actually had that conversation. And it's like, that's it. I mean, we could call it sales, and there's definitely a sales process. There's a sales, you want to make a sale, right? That's how you put meat on the table. That's how you put meat on their table. That's how they have a table to put meat on. They had to buy something. But there's that whole process of really just, I've got an agenda, more playtime, more playmates. I've got an agenda. I want you to have discovered something about you in the process. The content don't matter. We could talk Sudoku. I know nothing about Sudoku. What's her name? Alessandra Rossi Filippi. She teaches singing, and she does triple D once. She does triple D twice. Ends up hooking up with Grant Monk. That's another story. But she does triple D, and I tell her she's pondering at the time starting up a singing coaching business thing. She's doing some, but she's thinking about doing something big with it. So I told her, I said, let me pay you for a lesson, but I want to record it and I want to put it out there. She's like, you want to pay me for a lesson and record it and put it out there? Yeah, I want to promote you. I believe in what you do. So we did this little thing. I can send you a link. And she's making me beep and making me bop and so on and so forth. And in just 60 minutes of exploring who I am as a singer with her, and exploring my voice with her, and exploring where I leave when I'm trying to sing. Because I'd leave. It's like, no, you're not with me. It's like, holy shit. And to me, we could do it with anything. We could sell turnips on the corner, and people walk away and they're quote unquote better people because we had a conversation and they bought turnips.
Sure. No,
people that hate people that hate them. I don't even eat the damn things, but I got to stop by and buy them. Yep.
Yeah. So do you eat rutabagas?
Oh, dude, of course. I love all the weird shit. You know what I mean?
My wife and daughters eat it, and I don't. But it's the vegetable of last resource. Nice. Yeah, I do all those things that are not popular anymore. If it was popular 150 years ago, that's probably my vegetable. Sure. Understood. I know that you always like to be different, and that's cool. Because you stand out that way, and you start trends. Maybe there'll be runs on turnips and rutabagas now at the stores. So yeah. It's good. Yeah, one thing is I liked that's always stood out with me on one of the classes is my lucky number in life is number 11. So it was session number 11 is how is my dream day different?
Nice. Okay.
Different, and that I just I like listening to that, and it's just it's invigorating, and makes me think about things. So that was one thing I thought about. How is your day different?
Yeah, nice. I find difference what wakes me up. It's almost like what I notice what puts people to sleep is they're imagining this is how I want my day to be forever. And it's like, hello in there. I mean, they're just gone versus like I wake up, I've got my routines. I just did a podcast on my strategies and systems and structures and all that stuff that people try to avoid. But it gives me the opportunity to, like, for example, for our call, I use that booking link, Google Calendar, Zoom. I use the same process every single time. Roto Light, this chair. I mean, I'm very regimented that way. But it's all that regimentation, that frame allows me to show up with you. So it's like, radio, I know roughly how it's going to sound, how it's going to look, how the technology works. I make sure that nothing distracts me. Yeah, I've got the dog on me. He's my second heat source. But it's just it's delightful because uh, it's in the curiosity about the different. It's in that curiosity about how can I dance with my daughter differently today. It just it's like Mom's Day, honest to God. And if this thing with my mom and the pizza doesn't work out, what I've really imagined for Mother's Day is some intimacy with my mom. We didn't get along for a while, and I got to talk to her every couple of months, and it was almost more dutification than anything. And then one day I decided, you know what? I love my mom. I want to connect more with my mom. And I swear to God, I called her up and like, how's it going, Mom? And she goes, I've got a decision to make. And I said, what's your decision to make? And she goes, I'm either going to get the sink fixed or buy a computer. And I said, right, what kind of computer? And she started telling me about something. I said, no. Did you hear me? I said, no. I said, you get the sink, I'll buy you an iPad. So I bought her an iPad. And I thought it was going to take a lot to get it set up. I had a volunteer friend of mine ready to go in and help her. Next thing you know, she's got the damn thing all set up, and she's reached out. And it's like now we chat and send things back and forth all the time. We've got video chats like you and I are doing. And it's like intimacy.
Yes.
Intimacy. How else can I get along with my mom? Yeah, having a Skype number, that was good for a couple of years. Sure. And it was good because I really wasn't ready for the intimacy. But it's like I wanted to have a different relationship with my mom now. And it's that different. And it's funny, she'll send me the dumbest shit, and I'll send her the dumbest shit back. And it's like, wow. Just different is better than better.
I'm envisioning you having pizza with your mother on Sunday and having a grand time and sharing the love with her. She's a special person in your life. You wouldn't be here without her. And, you're her son, and you will always be her son. And I just see all good and love coming out of that for you.
Thank you, my friend.
I'm doing the same thing. On Sunday, I'm driving 3 hours to go see my mom.
Wow.
She turned 90 here.
Good on you.
And so, as I told her, I said, I call you up maybe more than you want me to, but there's probably going to be a day coming where I won't be able to call you. I'll call you, but you won't answer. And so, that's why I'm going to go do it and spend the time and make it all good to see her, and it'll be fun.
Beautiful. Yeah,
definitely.
Imagining your smiles right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just smiling thinking about it. She called me last night and she said, "Are you coming tomorrow?" I said, "No, I can't. I can't leave until Sunday, Mom. I got some work to do, but leave Sunday morning and spend Monday and Tuesday with you and spend some time." So she's all excited about it. It gives her something to look forward to.
Beautiful.
Yes, it is beautiful. That's all part of life. I mean, you and I and probably other people who are listening to this probably relate the same way to their parents, especially to their mother. She's always special in my book. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. Cool.
It's about that time.
Yes. Well,
how can I be the blessing for you today? Anything you want me to imagine? Hold in mind?
No, just see me being successful in my little business, my real estate business. I mean, I live in a town of 4,000 people, and the next biggest town is 5,000 people.
Wow.
And I sell a lot of high-end homes, $1 million plus type homes. I'm not bragging or anything, but it's just the nature of it. And it's become a very well-to-do community. When the pandemic hit, I went, "Oh no, Lord, we're in trouble." The exact opposite happened. People realize that they can work from home. They've installed fiber optics throughout the valley. And so we have a lot of people from the greater Seattle area that work for Amazon and all the high-tech companies that come here and, want a little slice of country. And it's all good.
So you imagine being the blessing.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
I got to tell you, when people tell me it's horrible, it's tragic, you know what it is? It's your opportunity to be the blessing. Because when you said, in the way you said, I sell homes. You don't sell houses. Some people sell houses. You sell homes. The warmth, the family value that you are. That's why you do what you do in a town of 4,000, 5,000 people.
Yep.
You sell homes.
Yes. A gathering spot so they can enjoy those beautiful Thanksgivings and create Thanksgiving memories for their kids to carry on into the future tradition.
And you feel that. It ain't just a spill. It's a real.
From the heart. When you were talking about Thanksgiving, I was thinking about myself. Many times I sat on the couch in a house and the husband just wasn't there, and talk about Thanksgivings. The turkey's in the oven. I can smell it cooking. Yum. Football game's on. Dallas is winning. The fireplace is roaring.
We won't hold that. We won't hold that against you.
And pretty soon the wife says, I want it. So the husband goes, wait a second. I'm not there yet. But it's all fun. It's all done in good fun. And it's something that I'll, joke with them later about. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy life. And
how could you not enjoy welcoming people home?
Exactly.
That's it. That's all we do here. Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, if you ever get up in my area, you got the doors open for you in Victoria, and so it's there, and be one of those kind of things is that many beautiful places in the world, but I used to always tell my daughters we drive into the national forest. I said, you girls are being raised in a national forest. Oh, come on, Dad. I said, there's a sign right there. It says right there. And sure enough, and both daughters have come back and said, Dad, we truly appreciate what you did for us. We just had a wonderful childhood. And so to say they, very appreciative of it. So that's great. Yep.
Thank you, Tony.
I'm sorry?
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. And again, I'm truly humbled and blessed to be able to have this conversation and look forward to speaking with you again in the future.
Reach out anytime. You know that.
All right. I appreciate it.
Oh.
Yeah. Say hi to your mother for me, will you?
I will do that. And same here. Give my mom your love.
I will do.
Give your mom my love. Oh, thanks, Tony. Have a lovely day.
Thanks, T. Take care. Bye-bye.